Hello and welcome to a special edition of Cats Whiskers TV Overtime. Panthers Hockey Live reporter Antoine Marie-Jeanne went to Scotland over the weekend, and in addition to the coverage that we've already had from this week's Cats Whiskers TV, here's his report from Scotland.
From Panthers Hockey Live, reporting on what ultimately has been a disappointing weekend in Scotland, only coming away with 1 point from a possible 4. First of all, we'll touch on Saturday night's game in Fife. Just got to give a mention again, and I know John spoke about this before, but if you've not been to Kirkcaldy before, thoroughly recommend it. The atmosphere generally there is really, really good. And this time they did the Pack the Barn thing which they did against Belfast last season, which they also won. And apart from where I was sat behind the goal, where there's a handful of seats, you couldn't see a seat in sight, and people were rammed onto the concourse, and it made for an excellent atmosphere. We had banter going between the two sets of fans. There was dueling chanting. Atmosphere-wise, it was brilliant. And then after the first period, the game was so tight. Panthers maybe just edged it, obviously going in 2-1. It was a lot to build on, and then Fife came out second period, just didn't give the Panthers chance to settle, and unfortunately we coughed up 2 short-handed goals in the game, which, one is bad enough, but 2, not great, and ultimately that led to everything breaking down a bit in the last couple of minutes. Obviously, Conway seemed a bit confused when he was supposed to leave the goal or not. And then, Fife got a handy break. Unfortunately, one of the linos collided with one of our D-men, which led to a 2-on-1 break for Fife, and they slotted it into the empty net, game over. And then the shenanigans at the end, which ultimately led to us losing yet another player, this time Stevie Lee through suspension, leading to a game last night against Edinburgh. Again, a really good atmosphere in Murrayfield. I think the Cats fans are a die-hard bunch. It can't be fun at times to being a Capital fan, but they turn up week in, week out, and there was certainly again a good atmosphere from both sets of fans getting behind the teams. Unfortunately, Panthers were just sloppy. Defensively, it just looked every time Edinburgh went forward, it looked, Conway was having to bail us out time and time again. It was I know you depleted would probably played a massive part. But when you compare to what we did in the third period, and we came out and it was desperate hockey. We literally threw everybody forward. We were 5-2 down at that point. We just threw everybody forward. Johnny Boxhill pokes himself a couple of quality goals, which he massively deserved. Over the course of the weekend, obviously, I don't think him and Sari were expected to play as much as they did, but obviously because after the Fife game, obviously we've lost Lee on suspension. We lost Bobby Wren through injury. Salters cut his hand on Nickerson's tooth in the fight against Fife, not on the back of his head, like I said in commentary. Apologies there. And unfortunately, I saw him in the canteen before the game, and he had his hand heavily taped up. So he was played no part. But yeah, like I say, third period we came out desperate hockey, just threw everything at Edinburgh. Scored 3 quick goals. Edinburgh didn't know what was coming at them. And sensibly their coach calls a timeout, steadies the ship. They get another goal, 6-5. And then luckily we tied it up. And then unfortunately then it's probably the bits that the fans will talk about the most. I called it straight away. I thought it could. I was straight out my seat. I thought it should have been a penalty shot for the Panthers. We break 2v1. and I think it was Sari who was down the middle, who got hauled back by the by the Edinburgh player, sorry. Um, when literally the pass comes to him, he's straight in on goal, but he wasn't allowed to get his shot off. No penalty shot given. We did get the power play. Fortunately, we didn't convert on the power play. And then not long after Edinburgh back to full strength, Portwood pulls a fantastic move mid-ice to go round one of our defenders. And then I think it was Benny coming in from the left, puts it, jams his stick out to get the puck. And I know there's been differing views on whether he got the puck first, whether he got the player first, what have you. But I mean, from where I was sat, it was a minute, seconds in it, milliseconds in it. If the referee had a benefit of a video replay, it might have been a different call. But he gave the penalty shot, and it was finished sweetly. And Edinburgh overall probably deserved the game. But I mean, full credit to the lads coming out. Obviously, we seemed to lose Norton early on in the third, so Benny dropped back on D. Then Lynn Loynes slipped while going for a line change and collided, face first into the boards in front of the Edinburgh bench. I think he hit his knee and his face, so we didn't see him after that. But I mean, the guts that the Panthers players showed in that last period, you've got to give them credit for that. But like I say, overall, disappointing weekend, points-wise, and let's hope the lads can pick it up for Saturday and Sunday against the doubleheader against the Steelers. And let's hope we get some bodies back soon. That's it from me.
The thoughts of Ant there. Thanks very much for posting the report. You can see Cats Whiskers TV next week. We've got a few great interviews coming up from David Clark's testimonial, including Giants coach Paul Adey, Brayhead Clan assistant coach Kevin Bergin, Panthers legend David Alexander Beauregard, and Steelers backup netminder Jeff Woolhouse. Stay tuned for that.